Les invalides encore? Bon bah on les invalide. Ah bah c'est le truc que j'ai ouvert l'autre jour et il y avait rien parce qu'en fait c'était une quête secondaire, c'est pour ça. Je comprends mieux. Tu as pas vu, tu as pas vu, tu as pas vu. Non, non, non.
The field with the dead tree.
Voilà. Monsieur le moche.
Don't move.
Ah, that cursed dancer! May you be devoured by rust!
Qui ça? Oh merde, ça non plus. Aïe 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 aïe. Oh. Ça c'est dans ma bouche ça. Oh le bâtard. Ah bah oui, t'as qu'à faire. Je vois rien avec les buissons. Merde. Ah ouh, Dieu. Pas très gentil ça monsieur. Voilà, je l'appelle. D'autres à ramasser. On ne dirait pas. Oh d'accord, deux. Ah oui bah oui. Merde. Hop 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 hop. Faisez pas les fous. Ramasse? Non? Excusez-moi, je reviens. Merde. Je pensais les planter mais pas du tout. Oh le retour. C'est dégueulasse. Hop là. Allez, un moins. Oh, tu as pas vu, eh? Oh, j'ai fait une mission. Oh oui. Et merde, je brûle. Alors. Ah, ça se ramasse. Ah, un petit coffre. Ah. Oh, un petit bug bismuth, ça c'est bien ça. Ok, nul. Et nul à chier. Putain.
He slipped through my fingers. Fortunately, he was unable to take his things with him.
Si je regarde autour de moi, moi aussi.
The sleepless slaves. They meant the automats. Feeding off the blood of innocent people. Monsieur Raymond was completely mistaken.
Ah oui, merde,
I
je
must
l'avais pas vu le
inform
pauvre
him.
monsieur là, dis donc. C'est sympa la déco chez lui. Ok. Ah. Clé d'Altour du diable. Oh bâtard. D'accord, ok. Je vois où j'arrive et ça ne m'intéresse pas en fait. Euh... Allez, on retourne au carrosse. Bah, j'ai bien avancé les quêtes secondaires parce que maintenant... Ouais, il y a tout à faire ici, très bien. Alors, 400 mètres, putain, ça va pas être tout près toi. Bordel. Et par là au moins. Excusez-moi, je vais de passer, vous emmerdez pas avec moi. Vraiment. Ne vous emmerdez pas. Je vais faire la petite bientôt. Avec mes conneries. Voilà, il suffit que je tombe sur un putain de cul-de-sac comme là par exemple. Excusez-moi, je me suis trouvé de chemin. Voilà, je vais par là. Ah, bonjour monsieur. Enchanté. Aïe 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 aïe. Aïe. Ah putain, c'est vrai que c'est pas du tout par là. Ouais, peut-être que si quand même. On va voir. Pas de là que je viens. Ouais, pour pouvoir prendre sa vie. Alors j'y vais, mais je sais pas où je vais. Je peux prendre à droite par là. Pas du tout. Mais alors, pas du tout. Non mais descends. Non, 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 je suis pas là, tu m'as pas vu. T'inquiète pas. Hop, 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 hop. Allez, monte. Putain. Mais vraiment, là c'est du pif. Ah, le fameux jardin. Oui, c'est vrai. Ah bah non. Pas du tout. Pas comment je vais retrouver. Ah,
At Anois's hiding place, a fight took place here.
attends, je prends l'autre d'abord. Ah, c'est beau ça.
Franciscus Antonius. What unusual names. Whose king could this be? Perhaps the guests at the Cordelier can enlighten me.
Yep. Ok, il est toujours pas là. Tout ça pour ça. Bon. On va pas s'embêter. Parce que tous les mecs sont là-haut après. Alors, monsieur Necker. Je suis pas sûr que j'ai des bonnes nouvelles pour vous. Pardon.
Monsieur Necker,
Madame?
do the names Franciscus Antonius mean anything to you?
No, nothing at all. I'm very sorry that I'm of no help to you.
D'accord. C'est tout.
Monsieur Necker,
Madame? Eh bien, do you come bearing good news?
your wife. You may rest easy,
Elle est
monsieur.
vivante mais elle s'est barrée.
Your wife escaped the massacre. She returned home and left you this letter.
Mon Dieu. She's going to meet our daughter and son-in-law at our charity hospital.
She may already be there.
Madame, I did not dare to dream of such an outcome. My wife and daughter. Can you imagine? And I thought I had lost both of them. The three of us will be able to leave the kingdom and put these horrors behind us forever.
What about the bonds?
Oh, the bonds. Do with them as you see fit. As long as the king does not use them. As for me, I'm going to find my family at once. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart. I pray that your efforts will be successful. Adieu, madame. Adieu.
Au revoir.
Minister Necker has given his bonds to me.
That's quite a nice little sum. Can you imagine? That's 1/5 of the kingdom's
Hey,
entire
quand même.
wealth.
Wealth that the king squanders for his personal benefit according to his whims.
Ma foi.
Monsieur Necker certainly has been very generous to his adoptive country.
Generous? I have my doubts. The loan was granted at a very high rate. So high, in fact, that it would have dug the deficit into an even deeper state of abyss.
Eh bien, messieurs, to what use shall we employ this boonful fortune?
C'est à
If
moi
I
ou?
could spend it, I'd do everything I could to return to the people their confiscated freedom. To begin, I would get them the bread they so sorely need. It is only after the scourge of famine has been vanquished that armed patriots might then be able to rise up against despotism.
And where will you find wheat, Robespierre? Will you steal it from under the noses of the automats who have sworn to destroy the human race? As for arming the people, this is another one of your delusions. How could your ragged pack of wretches win any sort of battle that be unable to lift a sword?
When you insult the people, you insult me, Monsieur de Lafayette.
I am not insulting anyone, Robespierre. But I happen to know what it takes to fight. Unlike you. Monsieur, I was but a lad of 15 when I took up arms. And everyone here knows my role in the liberation of America from British rule. If you allow me to dispose of these bonds, I will found an army that will annihilate the Clockwork King's diabolical machines. As soon as I have the opportunity to leave Paris, I will rally the officers and troops that are stationed in the provinces. Then, I will call for a mass uprising. I will have more than enough money to pay their wages and procure the weapons we need.
And you will have obedient troops at your beck and call, ready to repress anyone who challenges your power.
These troops will only serve the will of the people. I swear it.
Are you sure that the king has spared the rest of the kingdom, Monsieur le Marquis?
I am almost certain of it, mon père. Despite all of his resources, the king does not have enough manpower to occupy all the garrisons in the country.
Aegis, no member of this assembly can force your
M'en doutais.
hand. The
Je m'en
choice is
doutais.
yours. To whom will you entrust Monsieur
Alors,
Necker's
est-ce que je
bonds?
veux un gouvernement totalitariste ou quelqu'un qui donne? Non, Robespierre quand
Maximilien de
même.
Robespierre, I have chosen to entrust this fortune to you.
Very well, madame. I promise that I will use it for one purpose only. Freedom for the people and by the people. When a monarch violates the people's most fundamental rights, insurrection is their most sacred and indispensable duty. But we must be wary of warmongers, who claim to defend our happiness.
Bon sang, am I the only one who is
Bon
weary
sang.
of hearing these tiresome monologues?
For they wish only to silence us, and take their own turn at playing tyrant.
Congratulations, Aegis. You've chosen a speechifier as commander-in-chief.
Oh.
I am sure the
Et
king
je
will
fais
be
qu'est-ce que je veux
delighted
d'abord?
to hear this. He need not fear for his throne now.
Ah, chez lui, hein. Ok, donc eux, c'est fait. Ensuite.
Monsieur Raymond,
Go on, Aegis.
Je
I
sais
went
plus
to
ce que
the
je dois
Hotel
dire,
de
donc.
Massiac as agreed. What I discovered goes beyond your darkest conjectures. The club's members have no intention of merely depriving their slaves of rest. Rather, with the king's support, they plan to replace them with automat
Mais non,
harvesters. The Count of
des
Cagliostro
machines.
is behind the
Salaud.
plan.
Ma foi. But such a plan would certainly only improve the lot of these unfortunate people.
You are mistaken, mon père. If the planters get their way, they will have a greater need of slaves than ever.
Pourquoi?
Only this time, they intend to slaughter them to power their
Ah oui,
machines.
c'est plus embêtant.
Quelle abomination!
Par tous les saints.
4 days ago, the Paris Guard captured 100 black people. They were to be sacrificed as part of an experiment to test the effectiveness of the automat harvesters. Luckily, I was able to prevent the massacre.
Where are they now?
In a place they call the Dépôt des Noirs. I don't know where it is, but I managed to get the key. It bears the inscription, Tour du Diable.
The Devil's Tower is a prison in Vincennes, within the chateau walls.
Une prison
That's
civile.
3 leagues from here. We'll only be able to free the prisoners once we're able to move freely ourselves.
At least they were spared the fate that the king and his accomplices had planned for them.
And what will you do with the 2 servants you employ, Monsieur Raymond?
I will continue to treat them well, as I always have.
However, under the laws you insist on following, they will become slaves again the moment they leave the kingdom for Saint-Domingue.
Certainly not, Monsieur de Robespierre. What kind of a man would I be if what I have heard had not opened my eyes? The planters of Massiac have been proven to be nothing but avaricious murderers. I thought I was dealing with opposition, but now I discover them to be vile enemies, from whom it would be vain to expect any compromise. From this day on, I will fight against their interests with all my strength, and will not lay down my arms until the last slave in the Empire has been freed.
Rest assured, then, that the people will fight by your side, Monsieur Raymond.
That's the spirit, my friends. Vive
Ça, tout ça, hein.
l'égalité.
Ok. Et donc il faut que je questionne quand même encore sur... Est-ce que tu sais...
Aegis, I'd like to talk to you
Ah.
about my research. Do you have a few moments to spare for me?
Oui, bon, attends,
Certainly,
yeah.
mon père. I am listening.
I've carefully collected the testimony of our companions here. Then I compared them with the observations made during my investigation of the man who calls himself Cagliostro. I came to quite the shocking conclusion. I believe I have discovered how the royal automats remain constantly in motion. Like clocks that never need winding. They get their energy from the
Dun,
souls
dun,
of the dead,
dun.
Aegis. They drink from the anima essence that permeates the purgatory described by Monseigneur de la Fare. These machines feed on the dead. The greater the massacre, the deeper the river where they slake their thirst.
Est-ce que tu connais Franciscus Antinus?
Does that mean anything to you?
Let's see. François Antoine. No, that doesn't mean anything to me, I'm afraid. Désolé, ma chère.
Is there any way to stop the bloodshed, mon père?
Bon, c'est un peu long, je
always
devais faire
hope,
passer plus vite quand
Aegis.
même, parce que
As long as I remain free
blabla
to pursue my
blablabla
research,
blabla
I will
bla
never
bla bla
lose
bla.
faith. I keep thinking about the three Nemes, these echoes. All of this is clearly related.
The alchemist.
Ah d'accord, ok.
Precisely, mon ami. And this leads me
La
to
pierre
fear the
philosophale,
worst.
tout ça quoi.
What have we to fear from an alchemist who died?
Not him, per se. Rather the...
What do you fear?
What do I fear? Nearly 2 months ago, the king forbade anyone from setting foot inside the... He had the priests forcibly removed. They hardly even had time to save the church's sacred relics.
Since... Oh dear.
My thoughts exactly, Monseigneur. Legend has it that Flamel was...
What is the lapis philosophorum, mon père?
The Philosopher's Stone. Where do I begin? No one knows its true nature, or even what it might look like. All that is known is that it is said to grant untold riches and eternal life to whoever possesses it. Its very existence is questioned, of course. But if it's true, just imagine what sinister purpose the king and his accomplices might find for it. We must elucidate this matter at any cost.
Where is this tomb?
In the church's crypt. The priests always ensured that it remained undisturbed, despite the mystery surrounding it. But now they're no longer there to protect it. We need to know for certain.
But how? There are automats everywhere.
Oui, bah je vais y aller comme d'hab.
Oui, mon père.
Will you help us get to the bottom of this?
Did you not say that it was impossible to enter the church?
There is perhaps a solution. The penitence door behind the Châtelet leads to the Quartier de l'Hôtel de Ville. It's only opened on Good Friday, but this year, I had the honor and good fortune to lead the procession. Here is the key.
Goodbye, mon père.
Au revoir. C'est bon, j'ai fait... Non. Ah non. Ah putain.
My respects, monsieur.
Allez.
I didn't expect to see you again. We missed you when we had to leave our shelter at Place Saint-Méry.
Ok.
The path that led us to this convent was not an easy...
Est-ce que
Do
tu
the
connais
full names
Frankius
Franciscus Antonius
Antonius?
mean anything to you? Go on.
Franciscus Assisiensis, the founder of the order, and Antonius Patavinus. I'm sorry, Aegis, but that's all I
Génial.
can think of.
Super. Ah, toi tu m'as dit que tu les connaissais pas. Monsieur Bailly, dis donc.
Monsieur Bailly. Does the name Franciscus Antonius...
We scholars have the strange habit of adopting names. I imagine that we're actually looking for someone, no matter how hard I'm afraid it doesn't ring a bell.
Très bien. Monsieur Lavoisier.
Monsieur Lavoisier,
What can I do for you, Aegis?
how do you intend to counter the king's action?
Unfortunately, we don't have the upper hand. I am convinced that something is afoot.
You have my full attention.
You should know that I am a gunpowder commissioner. As such, I oversee the provision of gunpowder to the kingdom's arsenal. For the past 2 days, a large quantity of gunpowder from Marsanji has been sitting near Les Invalides. It's in a warehouse by the factories. But the men I sent to take possession of the cargo and transport it to the arsenal have gone missing. Do you realize what this means?
The gunpowder could have fallen into our enemy's hands.
It's possible. Whether it is still in the warehouse or has fallen into the wrong hands, we must find it urgently. Then, if possible, we must neutralize it.
How?
Simply by placing it in contact with water. Nothing could be easier in theory, but we must find a way to flood it.
Flood the gunpowder. You're out of your
Ah,
mind,
tu nous fais chier toi
Lavoisier.
avec tes guerres et
We're
tout
in
là.
the most desperate of situations, and you want to deprive us of such a valuable resource. What will our cannons use once we have formed our army of patriots?
Your army, Marquis, is presently but a figment of your imagination.
I see. So you're one of those men who would sound the retreat before the battle has even begun.
I will go to the warehouse. Once I have located the powder, I will decide what to do with it. Do the names
Franciscus
Franciscus
Antonius
Antonius mean anything to you?
No,
Non,
nothing.
bah non.
François Antoine?
No, nothing. I'm sorry, madame.
Ok. Allez, salut.
Goodbye,
Ok, toi là, viens. Viens. Vouloir aller, vouloir ta guerre. Là.
Monsieur le Marquis.
I'm listening, Aegis.
Franciscus Antonius.
François Antoine. Hold on. Of course. That's the master arquebusier who killed the beast of Gévaudan. The affair took place during the reign of Louis the Beloved. just a few leagues from the castle where I grew up. I was still a young boy, but I remember it like it was yesterday. It caused a stir all over the country. I don't know.
Encore? Bon, il me reste qui là? Robespierre, ouais, bah.
Eh bien. Do you come bearing news from Monsieur Marat?
No, not yet.
I have it on good authority that he is in the quarries in Montmartre. He's the only person who could show you a way to...
Ok.
I found a cane engraved with the name Franciscus Antonius. Who could it belong to?
Let me think a moment. Je vous prie. I know an Antoine Francois, a printer on Rue de la Harpe. His surname is Momolo, but he is a man of the people and a true patriot. I doubt that he ever sported a cane with his name engraved on it.
Goodbye,
Bon, attends, je vais tous les faire parce que le problème c'est que si je
So how
manque
is
d'autres
Monsieur
quêtes.
Marat? He is your... He's
Oui, oui, non. Des quêtes en
Is your
fait
plan-
secondaires.
Far from it, madame. Even if they were armed and formed...
Why is that?
Most of
Bla,
the strategic
bla,
points
bla,
in the city, they are
bla.
seized by an
Je suis désolé si vous voulez lire, hein, je vous laisserai
one
lire.
so great that those who do not lose
Ça
consciousness,
commence
this
à être un
makes
peu
it...
long.
The locations you met a statue holding a lantern.
That's right. From what little I could make out, they appear to be...
Lanterne des morts.
What do you mean, monsieur?
Lanterns of the dead. Ancient stone pillars. Our ancestors kept a fire going on top of. Today, no one knows what they were used for. A symbol of light triumph. Others claim that human bones, mercury and lime, some odious sorcery that was meant to entrap the tormented souls.
That makes sense and confirms my observations. I am now certain that the king's lanterns capture the anima essence of the dead who have been carved, and that this essence is what allows the automats to stay in motion. Without...
Paternoster quies in celis, sanctificetur nomen tuum.
Est-il?
Now that I think about it, madame, you obviously are not subject to the harmful effects of these lanterns.
No, au contraire. When activated, these statues reveal an apparatus that allows me to repair myself.
It follows that if you destroy these lanterns, the people will be free to fight again.
Unfortunately, they are preternaturally
J'ai pas envie en
strong.
plus.
Nothing can so much as damage
Marrant
them.
vous.
Come now, no metal is indestructible. If we knew what these lanterns were made of, perhaps I could find a way to destroy them.
Take a look at this ledger, Monsieur Lavoisier. It contains a list of metals. I found it by the factories, near Vaucanson's workshop.
Let's see. Steel, molybdenum, very good. Tiens, donc, tungsten and zirconium. This master blacksmith knows his trade. These metals can be used to make the strongest
Compagnie.
alloy imaginable, as
Nous a
long
pas
as you
cru.
have a fortune to invest.
For that, our clockwork tyrant knows no bounds.
Well, Monsieur Lavoisier, is there any way to break this alloy?
Break it? Certainly not. But a mineral acid could change its structure. Melt it, perhaps. I would recommend sulfuric acid, or vitriol, if you prefer to use its common name.
Where can I obtain some vitriol?
I had some, but my laboratory at L'Arsenal was ransacked. I can't tell you any more than that. You should ask my colleague, Monsieur Bailly. He uses similar substances.
Pourquoi prendre la balie? Vraiment.
Monsieur B. Would you happen
Et
to
un
know where I
peu
could
de
find some
vitriol.
vitriol?
Non.
Sulfuric acid?
Si.
Of course. Combined with sea salt and green copperas, we use it to polish the lenses of our telescope. But I don't know how much we have. You would need to go to the Louvre and take a look at the observatory.
If you will allow me to.
Of course, madame.
Ah. Merci.
Goodbye, Monsieur B.
Ah oh. Donc, toujours pas non plus. Attends, maintenant, parce que j'ai pas parlé avec lui. Ah putain. Robespierre. Robbie. Tu peux me parler? Fais la gueule. Fais la gueule.
Monsieur de Mirabeau. I found a broken cane.
Que tu connais
It says
Franciscus
Franciscus Antonius
machin
on
chouette.
it. Do you know who it belongs to?
Well, I never. Yes, I know the owner. And I'm willing to bet you're looking for a certain François Antoine.
Mais non.
That's right.
Well, you'd need to look a little further east, mademoiselle. Across the Rhine for a start. Because this cane belongs, or belonged, to a certain Franz Anton Mesmer.
Oh.
Mesmer.
The Prince of Charlatans.
Good heavens, it's been a long time since I've heard his name.
5 years to be exact since your learned commission denounced his theories.
It wasn't long after that when he disappeared.
Can you tell me more about Mesmer?
He was a mystical healer who was once popular with the upper class.
You mentioned a
The king did not look kindly on the healer's popularity within the court. This led him to appoint a commission from the Royal Academy of Sciences.
An institution to which Monsieur Bailly and I have the honor to belong.
The experiments that we performed allowed us to determine that Monsieur Mesmer's activities were pure charlatanism, a conclusion that destroyed his successful career.
But there was something, Sylvain. A tiny flow of energy that...
My dear colleague, must I remind you again that we were... It was obviously a momentary failure of your equipment.
Perhaps. I'd like to be sure of it.
When and how did Monsieur...
The denunciation of his techniques was the start of a long descent in... He was abandoned by his clients and resumed his research in virtual secrecy. I think he was hoping to perfect his so-called science and restore his reputation with the Academy.
A hope that led him to associate himself with that dastardly Cagliostro. God only knows what experiments they may have carried out. In any case, their collaboration did not last long. Monsieur Mesmer left the kingdom overnight to return to his mother country.
Why did he leave so quickly?
That is a mystery. But those who saw him that morning say it was as if he had the devil at his heels.
This is true. He left in such a hurry that he abandoned everything he owned. Furniture, belongings, and scientific equipment. And it seems that Cagliostro has inherited this treasure.
Is that so? Well, if what you say is true, that broken cane must have passed into the Count's hands.
Yes, it's likely.
This adventurer from who knows where is quite the mysterious character. And he has been very busy recently. I've been able to observe him from my apartments, making... I wonder what he was doing there.
What were Monsieur...
He is a proponent of a theory called... He
C'est un
claimed to
petit
be
peu
able
long
to
quand même.
channel a purported unit...
He also cobbled together a whole array of mad...
Okay.
Unfortunately, despite all his attempts...
D'accord.
What happened during Monsieur...
Oh, there
Des
were
idées
quite... Imagine
hypnotiques.
well-born ladies afflicted with perfectly imagined... A dimly lit room where incense has been burned to amiable servants, half-dressed, gliding from countess to... And the great Mesmer, a doctor with wandering hands. Oh, you should have seen them. Those grand ladies du théâtre, ma chère. Pure theater.
Ok. Eh ben, c'était long, c'était chiant. Et vous savez quoi, après cette longue aparté avec chacun, je pense que je vais arrêter là pour ce soir. Est-ce que je peux me faire un petit niveau? Pas du tout, très bien. J'ai bien fait de gaspiller, j'ai plus qu'à le perdre maintenant. Ah, par contre, c'est vrai que je peux améliorer mon arme, mais oui. Et oui. Ah ouais. Et je l'ai maxé, d'accord. Là, elle est bien, mais elle fait tellement... Elle est tellement lente. Ah, elle est pas mal celle-là aussi. Là. Je vais l'améliorer. 97. Bon, voilà. Et bien, on va s'arrêter là pour ce soir. Je vous remercie de m'avoir suivi. On va reprendre prochainement et on va reprendre les secondaires qui viennent d'apparaître. Forcément. Mais bon, au moins ce sera un peu plus de fight, plus intéressant. Je vous souhaite une bonne soirée et je vous dis à plus tard.